Hey everyone, welcome back to Tavern. Boy, do we have a great cast for you guys today. As always, I'm Flusher with Cambion Gaming, and my co-host is Martyr. We here at Cambion Gaming, we try to bring you something innovative, and we want to bring you something different than those boring old podcasts. So real quick here, if you're new here, this is how we do things around here. I will read a statement to my partner Martyr here. He will agree or disagree depending on which buzzer he pushes. Now, to add on to original format, we are trying something new. I will be playing along with him. And I guess you could say we'll be engaged in the epic battle of wits. Now, wait for it. You, the listeners, get to decide who wins. When you are done listening to the cast, in the comments, please type in Flusher or Martyr, and whoever has the most votes by the next cast wins. So, you ready to play Martyr? Alright, I know I am. Let's go. Alright, first one we have is the real reason the game was delayed was because Blizzard wanted to tweak systems like the Demon Hunter resource and not necessarily hardware or bug related.
That could be true. I hope that they're still going along with that mindset of we want to release a game as perfect as it can be, and tweaking the systems for resources like the Demon Hunter and all that would most likely help with a smoother release, ease all the complaints, and the feedback from people that are currently in the beta really helped with that. So hopefully they take that feedback that they've been getting and turn it into constructive criticism and work on it to make it as good of a game as possible upon release.
Yeah, I have to say, when I first read this, it's kind of like, taking a sucker punch or something. I was totally blindsided by it. From everything we were hearing from the beta testers, there's nothing but positive things to say. There are no major bugs. The tests have been very smooth. And from everything we were hearing, it was supposed to be a short beta. So, this is one of those situations where I can't wait to see what the real reason for it was. And I'm hoping they have in the behind the scenes DVD, maybe they'll explain something about that. But there's no doubt in my mind that this delay was to rethink one or two of their systems, whether it be PvP, endgame, or runestones, who knows. But I personally kind of think it was to continue working on that rune system that they're talking about, and maybe some of the endgame, and obviously some of the Demon Hunter changes as well. Yeah, I have no doubt about it, but so you're saying it's pretty much due to Demon Hunter system, or you just think
it's a mix between the Demon Hunter and the skills right now, because they're trying to change the way the skills scale upon level. So I noticed that the Wizard and Witch Doctor, their spells used to have set damages, and they would gain damage bonuses through the gear that they're wearing. And they changed that so that it isn't set numbers anymore. It's based off weapon damage. So now tweaking that system is something that they're most definitely going to be trying to do from here on out.
Yeah. So with the announcement of the delay, we can expect to see some new arena PvP content in the beta?
Maybe. There's been some data mine stuff that might make it in, might not, most likely won't, but there is some interesting stuff in there, like a Dota version of the game. I would be interested to see how that would play out, and definitely different things as opposed to just the boring 3v3 arena or stuff like that. Just mix it up a little and let us play different game styles and all that. You don't have to balance around it. Just having it included would be something nice to differentiate from the normal stuff that you have going on.
But my question was, do you think we're going to be seeing it in the beta?
In the beta, no. Bashiak posted earlier today saying that there was going to be no new content added to the beta, so I don't think so.
Yeah. Well, I was thinking there was a possibility this could happen, but I guess since he said that, and obviously they're not going to do anything. I was 100% certain they wouldn't add anything as far as Act 1 goes, because they didn't want to give away the storyline. And my thinking was, if they were trying to work out all technical issues, and they had already solved a lot of them, and the game was delayed for the reasons that we thought it was, maybe down the road, to maybe get some testers. Now I know that it's probably not going to be a problem, but I was thinking maybe they would do just a little bit of like a 2-on-2, just a little sneak peek. But I guess Bashiak already said that, so.
Yeah, another thing I keep in mind is this is beta testing. They're testing stability of the servers and hardware and all that. And I don't really see arenas being much of a test of those components. So I don't really see them adding that to it. There's not much to test except for maybe balance in arenas, and they've already said that they're not going to be trying to balance PvP at all.
Yeah, I understand, but I mean, everything's gone, so smooth. I haven't seen so many technical issues, so I don't really foresee any major issues coming up. So I was just thinking, maybe they would just add that to something just to see how it would, how it would work in the game, but obviously not. So moving on. Also, to go along with the delay, Blizzard will implement that new runestone system Jay Wilson mentioned in the press.
Yeah, sorry, I was distracted one more time.
I was saying, also going along with the delay that they just announced, Blizzard will implement that new runestone system that Jay Wilson mentioned at the press event.
The one with the random runes until they're socketed?
Right.
I would have...
First of all, could you just kind of like explain to everyone who's not out there, that's not familiar with it, what exactly we're talking about?
Alright, so the way it works is Jay Wilson has stated that the runes will not actually be runes until they're socketed into a skill, and at that point they will socket the rune. I would have to see the video again, but I'm pretty sure it would socket the color of the rune, so it would remain colorless until you put it in the skill. And so that way, yeah, and then I'm pretty sure you'd be able to take them out and put them into other skills. I might be wrong on that.
Well, no, okay, here. Well, from what I gathered, what it was is basically you would, you have a blank rune, and then it'd be level 7 or whatever, and then you put in a skill, and then it'd be a random effect, whether you get the blue, the red, or the yellow effect, it'd be random. And then on top of that, they would have like additional like stats, maybe like plus 10 strength, with the randomized loot that Diablo does.
Oh, stuff like that. Yeah, that definitely seems like it would help, especially with the absence of like charms and stuff. Now these could sort of replace them and add, certain stats, just small amount of stats, nothing game breaking to your skills and abilities that are just nice to have.
Yeah, I would say this one is. I'm gonna agree with this one. I would also like to add that I think this would be good for the game. I think it adds a lot. It will be fun, to try and hunt down the one runestone that we want. And true, it may be frustrating at times, but if they implemented something like the Mystic or whatever, then it would. Because that's another thing they're talking about is they would maybe put in a Mystic because, it kind of suck, getting this awesome rune because runes are supposed to be rare. And then, just not getting anything that was desirable. So I think they say, okay, you can go to Mystic and then you can pay a certain amount of gold and they'll wipe the rune blank for you. But, so with that, I think it would help, and then it would alleviate, a lot of headaches out there that could be there because of, that could be out there, because of all the frustration that can build up. And, I think it's cool because you could have that level 7 rune effect that that you could get the desired rune effect that you want, but then maybe you don't have the stats you want, and then I think that adds a lot more character depth, and it'll lead to some more interesting builds because you can tweak your build accordingly. And also I was thinking another positive outcome it would give players a reason to use the auction house, whether it be gold or real money. That's for the player side, but I think it'll create a market, and it'll facilitate a lot of transactions on the auction house as well.
Yeah, it'll also add, a lot more loot that you can grind, and if you don't want to go and pay to have it changed, you can just keep grinding and find the loot you want.
Yeah, and a lot of people might not, they'll say it's frustrating, but then again, there's the Mystic, and that'll all you have to do is just pay some gold, and that serves two purposes. It's another gold dump, and get more gold out of the economy, and it'll help the player as well. Alright, so moving on, it would be a bad idea for Blizzard to have achievements by obtaining gear the right way. Basically, it'll show who pays for their gear with the auction house.
I don't see it mattering too much, to be honest. I mean, if I have extra money lying around, I see some item that, it would be a slight upgrade, and it's just pocket change, I might buy it. But as of now, I don't really plan on spending too much money on the game through the real money auction house. Most of it will probably be through the gold auction house, but that also means that players are going to have to sell through the gold auction house. And so the problem with that is if everyone's just looking to sell on the real money auction house and buy off of the gold auction house, then you're going to run into those fluctuations of, people not buying off the real money auction house. And I don't really see it as much of a detriment or, advantage if you're buying stuff off the real money auction house as opposed to the gold auction house if it's balanced correctly. So adding an achievement or something like that would just be sort of pointless.
Yeah, I would say I'm sort of like halfway. I don't want the achievements, but I want something else. A lot of players out there want to be recognized for not putting their money in their character. And, I hear them, I understand where they're coming from, but if it shows that it was paid for with real money auction house or not, I'm not sure about that, but I do think it would be really cool if you could inspect someone and it showed where they got, like, a certain piece of gear. Just for example, you see some guy with the most, like, legendary, awesome sword in the game, and then you go up to him and you inspect him. It would be cool to say, oh, this guy got this from Diablo, or he got it from, some monster in the beginning of Act 1, just because everything's so random. And it would be cool to see the lucky drops that these people are getting, like, oh, this guy walked out of town and killed that guy right outside of Act 1 town, starting town. Or, to add on to that, they could say whether or not it's from the auction house or real money auction house instead of what drop. I personally would be in favor of that. All of it would be a little line of, all it would be is, kind of like a little line of text at the bottom of the gear, right underneath the stats or something. And, it would just name a word or the name of the monster, depending on where you got it. And I think it'd be very cool, and I think that'd be an awesome option in my opinion.
Sounds like a good idea. It could be fun to have, and I'm all for it as long as it doesn't further delay the game.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, you mentioned that, and that's pretty much what's driving them at the moment is, all right, is this feature worth delaying the game for? That's pretty much what mode they're in right now. So, at this point, I don't see them adding it in because it's not already in, but I'm feeling, maybe later on it could come in.
Maybe sometime down the line, that would definitely be good times to implement things because they have patches and all that kind of stuff, especially since you're going to be required to be online all the time, you're going to have to patch. And having content patches to keep players playing and changing mechanics or adding features is definitely a good way to keep people playing the game.
Yeah, I was just thinking, it's something they can look at because they've already announced the delay, so. Alright everyone, we're out of time for today's show, so please join us next week as we dive deeper into the beta. If you have any questions/statements that you would like us to debate live on the show next time, please post them on the channel, and as always, please subscribe if you enjoyed this. Thank you guys. See ya.